First, she told Robbie that she'd moved to the city after her leaving cert to party. The longer she slept on his mattress, the heavier the lie felt, until she was too exhausted by its heft to be comfortable under it. She told him when she was sure he wouldn't balk. She was 15 and she'd run away from home, but no one was looking for her because she told her parents she was just fine. Rang them every fortnight, actually, and evidently the guards weren't interested in tracking down a girl who was doing just fine. She was still here to party, she insisted. Robbie took it exactly as she'd predicted. He scratched the back of his neck and puffed his cheeks out. "Whoa," he said, and reached no further than that. By then it was too late for him to demur, even if he'd had the guts for it. He'd already walked her into an agreement with the guy he rented the room from. The landlord fucked her, now and then, in part payment for another month of indoor binges and insubstantialities. After that, it was their dealer, and then a night's worth of punters around the back of the college while Robbie patrolled and parleyed maybe once a week, maybe more than that. And Robbie, of course, though that was for free. Birthdays passed, coke passed, crises passed. He patched her up when she needed it. She put her body against his debts when he needed it. She got pregnant, but it didn't work out. Later, maybe. In the interim, they stopped going to parties. They set in, where he suffered death after death on his Xbox, and she sank into novels about dogged detectives and murderers who hid in plain sight. She went to work indoors at his insistence. Maybe he was just ridding himself of the responsibility of minding her, but he swore it was because the men who bought her in brothels would be less worrisome than the ones who trawled the streets. He was wrong. Up to that point, she'd defined her time with Robbie in lively terms. Fighting, fucking, breathing, being. After that point, she was mostly concerned with death. The men who prearranged their time ensured that she was aware every moment of how many moments she might have left. By and large, they were vicious, much more so than the last-minute trawlers. Maybe it was that these punters had time to stew in their contempt. It was often bubbling over by the time they got to their ordained girl. When she wasn't working, she took solace in serial killers and watched Robbie bleed out on the TV 100 times a day, until at last the irony started to sting.